Yo, my bad. I straight up lied to y'all. I said, I'm going to be back in like an hour. I'm going to do a live stream again in an hour. And it's like 7, 8 hours later. Sorry, guys, I got caught up. Life is crazy. Anyway, as promised, like I said, I've been absent for a week. There's been crazy stuff going on like every other week, but I gotta chime in. I gotta chime in. And to be honest, I really did not want to talk about the freaking Ukrainian whistleblower thing because it's oversaturated. Who's not talking about it? But at this point, I want the story to pass. I want it to pass through our news cycle. This is like an ulcer passing through the news cycle. It's so just painful to talk about. And it's like talking about Russia. It's just a big fat nothing burger. Damn, I got a lot of people watching already. Give it a like on your way in. Appreciate you guys. One other thing I forgot to mention about that hat, that unboxing of the hat. So the guy who owns the brand MAGA Star, if and when you purchase the hat, upload a picture of it on Instagram or Facebook, whatever, and just hashtag MAGA Star brand, because he wants to grow the brand and show yourself doing something cool, like a random act of kindness or you being patriotic, whatever. If you get the hat, which hopefully you do, you post a picture of yourself wearing it and hashtag MAGA Star brand. And don't forget, if you want to get the hat, 10% off if you use the promo code MAGA 2020. So easy. Let me get a sip of water while you guys get in there and start chatting. And as always, my public service announcement is drink filtered water. Drink water regardless, even if you don't have a filter, but we now know the truth about the fluoride. So drink filtered water because your neurons will be firing the way they should be. Let me give you guys some shout outs for real this time. What's up, Dina Marie, DM? Who else is in here? Juan. Every single time I pick out a name, I swear, every single time it's something I can't pronounce. So Wanda JP, Wanda JP says, hi, first time watching you. Appreciate you. Thank you for taking time out of your Friday night. It's early, so maybe you're not out turning up yet. Appreciate you watching me. Who else we got watching? Josh Perez. We got Arthur. We got Susan Van Loven. Never fails. Every random one I pick out, I can't pronounce it. We got Angie Mack. William, that looks like lasagna. Looks like your last name is lasagna. From London. Appreciate you watching me from across the pond. Hello, mate. I know that probably wasn't that great of a British accent. Anyway, I'm going to get started. We got a good little crowd watching. Okay, so where do I begin? I guess we'll talk about just very briefly, because I don't give a shit about this story at all. The Ukrainian whistleblower, it's a cluster, right? Like, who cares? It's nothing. It's stupid. He won't be impeached. That's the bottom line. I'm very much a bottom line guy. Bottom line, he won't be impeached. And if, God forbid, he does get impeached, then Mike Pence is your president. Okay, cool. Got it. It's just another distraction. It's a way to get people talking about bogus stories as opposed to real stories, stuff that actually matters, stuff that's tangible, stuff that matters to Americans, like, I don't know, the medieval diseases in LA or the freaking jobs around the country, the economy, the corruption, the actual corruption, like Joe Biden running for president. So get this. Here's my thoughts. Quick thoughts on this Ukraine thing. If Donald Trump should be impeached for his conversation with the Ukrainian president and the whole quid pro quo thing, if he should be impeached, Joe Biden should drop out of the race. He should be automatically disqualified for running, because if you're going to hold Trump to the standard, You got to hold Joe Biden to the standard. Joe Biden is on record with the quid pro quo thing, talking about, well, if you don't fire that prosecutor, you're not getting the money. That's literally quid pro quo. You fire the prosecutor who's investigating my corrupt drug addict son, or you don't get this money, this taxpayer money. By the way, that's a whole nother story. Why the hell are we sending money to Ukraine? America first, right? Period. Anyway, if you're going to hold Trump to that standard, you got to hold Joe Biden to that same standard. That's where people like me come in to call out the mind-numbing double standards and hypocrisy from the media, Democrats, your rank and file random person who's not into politics, but they get all outraged about one thing, but they're silent when someone who's on their side does the same thing. I'm tired of it, man. You guys are tired of it. The country's tired of it. We're calling this shit out. So if Trump should be impeached, which obviously he shouldn't be, and he won't be, which is more important, then Joe Biden needs to drop out immediately because it's on video. It's on video that Joe Biden did this. So that's my thing. Lori00, thank you for the super chat. I support young conservatives. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you. You know, I love what I'm doing. This is great. I couldn't do it without patriots and people who support me. You know, I'm on a different vibration, guys. My whole frequency is different than your average conservative pundit, whatever you want to label us as, talking on YouTube. I'm in just a deep state of gratitude. I'm overwhelmed with joy and gratitude as I'm sitting in my brand new house that I just bought, in Trump's economy. This wouldn't even be possible. I wouldn't be where I am right now had this man not be elected. I would probably still be in corporate America trying to climb the ladder, struggling in the rat race, wondering, when will I get ahead? When will my boss think I'm smart enough to promote me? Instead, I took the bull by the horns and decided I'm in charge of my destiny. I make decisions for myself. And oh, by the way, this is America. I can do whatever the hell I want to do. I'm quitting my job. I'm hitting the eject button and I'm moving to Florida. When you live in Minnesota for 5 years, you deserve Florida. It's not even a want, it's a need. You have to have Florida if you put up with those Midwest winters. So I gave up on that, moved down here, met all these Republicans and racist white people who supposedly hate me, find out the left and liberals are the ones that are actually the most racist. Those are the worst people. I find out all this stuff. Here I am with a YouTube channel saying common sense, getting paid for what I already say. Common sense. Who knew that you could get paid for telling the truth and speaking common sense, which apparently is not really that common anymore. But I digress. I'm going to move along. Speaking of Minnesota, Minneapolis, Twin Cities. Shout out to the Twin Cities. I lived there for half a decade. Trump just announced he's holding a rally October 10th in Minneapolis. Man, if you've never been there, let me tell you something about it. It's liberal as hell. It is so liberal. It's going to be at the Target Center, which is downtown Minneapolis. Just thinking about it logistically, I don't know how it's going to work. There's going to have to be heavy security. They're going to have to block off several streets. The protests will be massive. I'm telling you guys right now, if I weren't going to the Black Leadership Summit next weekend, I would be trying to get my ass to Minnesota because I have friends out there. This would be a golden opportunity for me to give you guys some on the ground frontline reporting of what's going on. Liberal city, Trump's in town. It's gonna be mayhem, but I don't think it's gonna be like violence, and it's not Portland, but it's up there as far as liberal cities go. And for Trump to go behind enemy lines and have a rally, first of all, that's bold on his part. It's necessary, but it's also, there's a lot of friction. The mayor of Minneapolis has already said, we're going to protest this. We're against it. The city stands for diversity. This is what making America great again really looks like. He just pretty much went out there and grandstanded like, we're against Donald Trump. We're going to show him. Just, you already know how they roll. But the fact that it's in Minneapolis, it's downtown, the central business district, it's already busy. It's Trump, this polarizing figure, and how our country is so divided. It's a recipe for just great video footage. I'm pretty sure all the YouTubers that go to those Trump rallies and record people on the street, they're going to be there. So if I weren't going to YBLS next week, I would definitely be there trying to capture whatever video I can, possibly go into the rally. And it's also like a little bit symbolic for me, since I moved away from there 2 years ago, thinking my path is corporate America. I'm going to make all my money this way. Here I am in Florida doing totally different stuff, just bought a house, learned all this stuff politically. It'd be great to go back up there with either this hat on or this hat on and make my presence known. But the thing is, like I said, the timing and the price and the cost and all that for a flight, the turnaround's not ideal. But I would love to go there. I think it's great. I love that Trump's doing this. I love that he was in California last week. I think he needs to spend the majority. Well, I won't say the majority. I think Trump should spend at least half of his time campaigning in cities that totally oppose him. Imagine Trump doing a MAGA rally in Portland. Do you know what that would do for the patriots, the people who support him in that state? I know it seems like Portland's so far gone. Oregon, most of Oregon is conservative. If you take Portland out of that state, most of that state is freaking conservative. They're pro Second Amendment. They want freedom and liberty. They don't like big cities and a bunch of like people around. That's usually what conservatives like. They like space, privacy, quiet. That's what they need. And he's also making a statement. He's showing that he stands with them. He's not neglecting them. Because here's the thing. Hillary Clinton did that in 2016. She's like, I'm not going to Michigan. We got that in the bag. Michigan hasn't voted Republican in decades. She did the same thing with Wisconsin. She neglected the blue wall. Trump shouldn't neglect cities, even though those states don't support him, like, right, they vote Democrat. He shouldn't neglect them at all. Even though he probably won't win, it's still a statement saying, we're not going to be bullied. We're not going to be intimidated. We don't care that you're against us. This is America, and there's patriots here. I just think he should really go to some of these cities. So Portland, Seattle, San Francisco, hold some MAGA rallies there. I mean, it's one thing if you do it in Louisville, Kentucky or something. That's not doing a whole lot. Go to those liberal cities. Let me read some comments on that. What do you guys think? Someone says send a private email. You guys are always talking amongst yourself, which is great. But if you have questions for me or if you want to chime in on what I just said, make it known. And I'm going to get better. I promise. I've been saying this for months. I'm going to get better with trying to look through the chat and see when someone replies me, it's like bolded and I can read it. So Lynn M said, love the haircut. Thank you. Appreciate it. I mean, I always have worn my hair like this. It's just, this is a fresh haircut. I got it like last week. Because, you know, when you move to a different city, you got to find a new barber. So I figure I might as well get one at the last possible minute so it can last me as long as possible through my trip to DC. So appreciate the comments, you know. Okay, so we covered Minneapolis. What else? Mini AOC is back. I want to talk about random stuff, okay? Just random things that were buried by this whole Ukrainian thing. Mini AOC is back. I don't know if you guys knew about her before, but she's actually more articulate, more fun and entertaining to watch than the real AOC, even though there's a lot of material there. Mini AOC was bullied off the internet back in like July because she was intimidating the left's new darling. And so people were giving this little 8-year-old girl death threats, calling her family's personal phone. So they're like, it's not that serious. We're not making any more content. We're deleting all her videos. Anyway, she's back because the threats, I guess, I don't know if there's been any threats toward that chick, which is another thing I'm going to get to too. I'll get to that next. The Greta Thunberg, whatever the hell her name is, from Sweden, the new charlatan in the making. I'm the expert on climate change. How dare you? Her. I guess she's been getting, harassed or ridiculed by conservatives, rightfully so. But they're like, how are you going to scold us for criticizing this girl, talking about she's a kid, but then you gave death threats to an 8-year-old because she imitated AOC, who actually deserves to be criticized because she's a drooling idiot. So you guys intimidate and threaten this 8-year-old because she doesn't speak the way the left wants her to speak. But then when you get this climate change girl that you're using as a sock puppet, she's just saying whatever left-wing scientists tell her to say. She's got talking points. It's all rehearsed. We know this. But you can't criticize her. She's a girl or a little kid, but also a girl. Little kid. You guys can't criticize her. But also she's out there talking at the UN like an adult. So mini AOC comes back in the picture. That's perfect. This is what we need. We need more people standing up to the double standards and the hypocrisy. The hypocrisy has never been more obvious than it is right now. Whether you're talking about the Joe Biden Ukrainian scandal, the actual Ukrainian scandal, Hillary Clinton actually colluding with Russia, or the left sending death threats to an 8-year-old actual child versus a 16-year-old girl who's been propped up and forced into the mainstream as an adult, but then, oh no, I'm a kid. See, I hate this. The left is always using kids in one way or another, whether it's for skin serums, which I'm not going to go down that path, but if you want to, what they do with unborn and aborted fetal tissue, they're using kids that way. Or you got your Jeffrey Epsteins of the world, your Bill Clintons of the world, all the other pedophile Democrat donors, okay? Or you got kids marching in the streets demanding enslavement, like, raise my mom's taxes, the climate, my future. Using kids to push propaganda, or let's lower the voting age to 16. This is insanity, and this is sick, and it's evil. But this is what the left is. That's how we know we're on the right side of history. Everything I just said is truth, fact. Share it with your friends. Share it with your family. Did I get anything wrong? The left sent death threats to an 8-year-old girl because she mocked AOC. But then when people rightfully criticize their little darling of climate change, they're like, you can't do that. She's a kid. But then also, we're going to look the other way. We're going to shine the laser pointer that way when the former president of the U.S. is linked directly to Pedophile Island, Lolita Express. We don't care about that. We don't care that the woman who we think is so much more moral than Trump, Hillary Clinton, defended pedophiles, is linked to child trafficking. We don't care about that. She's better than Trump. Trump is mean on Twitter. But we're going to call out all this other stuff. We're going to ignore what we do, and we're going to call out what you do, even though what you're doing is valid and it's not immoral. That's what I'm saying. We're on the right side of history. They're on the wrong side of history. That's not up for debate. So the way they're using kids is just wrong. It's immoral. It's evil. And we're going to call that out. We got to call evil by its name, period. So that's all I had to say about the AOC thing. But the Greta thing, the marching in the streets, the climate protest last week, kids getting to skip school. What high schooler or middle schooler doesn't want to skip school? You think most of those kids actually care about climate change? They're like, man, I get a free pass to skip class. I'm with my friends. Let's go hang out. Let's go play video games. Let's pretend like we were at the march. It's garbage, man. The way that they use kids and they justify it in their heads some way. And then they're like, we're going to use them as human shields. What do you hate kids? You're criticizing climate change. Get out of here, man. All right, these comments are flowing in. Let me read them. Someone said, congrats, Mike. Oh, that might have been a while ago. Thank you, Lynn. I'm assuming you meant congrats on my new house. Ooh, let me see. Trying to read these comments. They're coming in kind of fast. Children and elderly are most abused groups. I can't understand. It just seems like your natural. Let me lower this camera a little bit. It feels like I'm okay. It just seems like naturally, wouldn't it kick in for you to be like, it's probably wrong to use this kid to as leverage to get what I want? That's selfish and it's wrong. And you're taking advantage of the most vulnerable human beings on the planet. There's nobody more vulnerable than a child, period. But the left doesn't care. That tells you they're not operating with morals. We just got to call it out. We have to call it what it is. There's no reason to be long-winded any more than I already have. It's evil. It's evil. These people are evil, period. Okay, let's move on. Oh, wow, what's going on? Somebody's saying something crazy in there. I tried to support. It's not working, Arthur. Arthur said that. What do you mean? You can't find my PayPal? They might have demonetized it. So if you're not able to send super chats, it's because YouTube demonetizes video. They do it on the spot. They demonetized my unboxing video where I unboxed that MAGA hat earlier, and I had to go in and dispute it. Luckily, they reversed it within like 10 minutes. I mean, it's not like it's going to go viral, but still, every click is money. They demonetized that video. I'm like, what did I say that wasn't advertiser friendly? I don't get it. But anyway, I'm not surprised if you can't send super chats. That's how they do us, man. That's how they do truth tellers. They really do. Mal C said, ignorance is nothing to get behind. The left require it in their supporters. They absolutely do, man. I remember when I was younger and I was ignorant to politics, I really just didn't know about a lot of things. I used to think Republicans represent stupid, uneducated, low IQ people. Okay, well, I'll give you this. The Republicans, people who vote Republican, tend to, on average, have a high school education and nothing more. But that doesn't mean they're stupid. Contrary to that, people who vote Democrat have like doctoral degrees. They're super smart, masters, whatever. They're articulate, they're well-spoken, they're fluent. These people are smart, but at the same time, they're more deeply indoctrinated. So it's much harder to reach people who think they know everything than people who haven't gone that far. And those people, by the way, people who didn't go to college, that means they're less indoctrinated than someone who got their master's in feminist theory, right? What are the odds you think you can change someone's mind like that? So it's kind of like one of those truth is stranger than fiction things. Like the people who have the least amount of education are also the least indoctrinated. It's like millennials make up the largest voting bloc in the country right now, but they're also the most deeply indoctrinated. Which makes sense when you look at the average person who's roughly 20s, 30s, they're more liberal. They have their college degree, they don't have kids, they're well off. They might be living in a nice loft in a downtown city, or they just bought their first house, but they're also most likely to vote for socialism. So what does that tell you? Are they really educated if they don't even understand basic principles of freedom and liberty and basic economics even? Really? You can have a college degree and not understand basic economics, not understand that open borders plus Medicare for all literally doesn't work? That's like saying, hey, I just bought a 50-pound bag of dog food, but there's a lot of stray dogs in my neighborhood. I have an open doors policy, and we're just going to give all these dogs food. Well, I have a dog to feed. He's going to go through at least half that bag by himself, but because I want to feel good about taking care of all the dogs in the neighborhood, I'm still going to have open doors, and somehow it's just going to work out. All the dogs will be equally fed. They're all going to be nourished. It's just going to work out somehow. That's basic economics, supply and demand. So how can you be super duper educated and then follow Bernie's breadcrumbs down this path of socialist destruction? It just boggles my mind. And I'm somebody with a college degree. I have no idea why the Kool-Aid didn't take so well with me. I spit it out. I tried to drink it. I tried to swallow it. I was up there in Minneapolis. I thought I fit in. I was like, man, this is my tribe. This is my group. It just didn't fit. I was a square peg trying to fit through the round hole, and it just didn't work, but a lot of people, a lot of them unfollowed me because they're so progressive, and they're like, oh my God, I can't believe Mike doesn't think like me. Doesn't he know that like Democrats care about the people? These are the people that don't understand that they're on the wrong side of history, period. Like if you support Antifa, if you think that they're actually fighting fascism as they beat old people in wheelchairs up who have nothing to do with it, they're just running around Portland, knocking people out that are just standing there with groceries, waiting for the bus. They're like, you're here. You're not one of us. I'm beating you up. You're a fascist. You're on the wrong side of history. If you think Desmond is amazing, you're on the wrong side of history. It's impossible that people are going to look back 100 years from now and say, I'm so glad we had that damn drag queen story hour. That was the best thing we needed. Nobody's going to say that. Nobody's going to say, I'm so happy that we passed afterbirth abortions. That was so needed. Women's rights. That was like a pivotal moment in women's rights history, to kill their baby after it's born. That's what's needed. No human being is going to say that in the future, period. But the fact that the left is like, we're progressive, we love everything, we love everyone, except for people who think different, that's the wrong side. The fact that you have so many people that I know, people from Minneapolis, people from Denver, some people who might be watching this now, people who unfollowed me on Instagram for sharing a picture of Hillary Clinton with Robert Byrd, the freaking Grand Wizard of the Democrat Party or the KKK. Same thing. People unfollow me for telling the truth. But close your eyes and imagine any Republican in the United States of America taking a picture with the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan, saying that was their mentor, and then running for president and having everybody behind them and saying that should be our leader. Imagine any Republican getting through that. It's not possible, because there's double standards that will make your head explode. There's hypocrisy. It's so lame. It's so weak. I'm so fed up with it, as are most people in this country. Either you care about these issues or you don't. You don't get to straddle the fence. You don't get to shape shift and go back and forth. Like, I'm against racism if I think it's a Republican, but I'm going to ignore it if it was over here. Ralph Northam dressed in blackface, huh? What? We don't need to protest outside of his mansion. We don't need to protest against Justin Fairfax because Brett Kavanaugh is obviously a rapist. I mean, these are credible allegations from 40 years ago with no evidence. And even though the people accusing him deny it, we believe the news. That's the ministry of truth we believe in. No more of these fake, radical, right-wing propagandists on YouTube. We don't want to hear that truth. They're like, la, 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 la. That's what they are. That's what they're doing. Again, wrong side of history. Now, let me read some of you guys' comments. Sorry, sometimes I just go on a tangent. But this is what happens when I step away for a while and I need to get back in the groove, get back into my swing of things, and there's so many stories going on. Sometimes I just unload. It's like word vomit, but I'm sure you guys appreciate it because I'm just spitting it all out, just telling truth. Let's see. Hip Hop Thinker, what's up? Missy D said, we love it, Mike. I'm glad you love it. I had a feeling you guys did love it. You guys would tell me if you didn't like what I'm saying. It's not like what I'm saying is that far off. I know I'm not as articulate as some out there. I'm very articulate. Don't get me wrong. But there are people who do it a lot better than me that I strive to be like. I want to, get better at it. But damn, sometimes you just got to say it like it is. You got to tell the truth unapologetically. I don't care what people say. I will call out this fakeness till the day I die. I will not stop. I will never stop. There are people right now who don't give a damn about the issues they claim to care about. So let's talk about climate change a little bit more. We talked about the new darling of the left, the chick over there. How dare you stolen my childhood. I don't know if that was a Swedish accent or not, but you get it. So you got that chick. You got a bunch of kids marching around, taking school off so they could go march with paper signs that are going to get thrown away. They sprayed confetti in the streets, and then they went home and played Xbox and turned on their air conditioning. They don't care about climate change. The average person who tweets and talks about climate change does not take it seriously. They are being so fake. They're looking for validation. They want their friends to think they're cool and progressive. They don't care, because if climate change were the threat that they say it is, they would give up driving right now. They would take bold action on their own. They would be like, man, I want a future for my grandkids. I'm turning my car in. I'm selling it. I'm burning it. I'm doing whatever I can. I'm going to do whatever I can to responsibly get rid of my car. I'm going to stop using air conditioning. I'm going to stop using my iPhone. I'm going to shrink my carbon footprint. I'm doing all these. I'm going to stop eating hamburgers, stop eating meat. None of those people are doing that. None of them. I don't care. Arnold Schwarzenegger driving around that big old Hummer. Yeah, it's converted to run on electric energy. Okay. The electric grid still uses carbon. So what are you saying there? Until you change the grid, the energy grid, to be environmentally friendly, what are you doing there? The biggest offenders are the ones who are shouting from a mountaintop, climate change, the end is nigh. It's like, miss me with all these doomsday prophecies, you big fat hypocrite. I'm sick of it. I'm going to keep driving my Jeep. I'm going to keep eating meat. I'm going to keep living my life the way that I want to live it, because the world, the earth, Mother Earth, Gaia is resilient. We are 2 to 3 major natural disasters away from humanity being wiped out. You don't think the earth could get rid of us if it wanted to? Meaning God, did God not create all this? See, people who don't believe in God believe in climate change. That's how it works. You think man can control the earth, and we are the reason why the earth is dying. And all these climate change activists, how many trees have they planted? Stopping traffic just emits more CO2 into the atmosphere, right? Right? That's what I thought. These people don't care. They don't care. They just want to control. They just want to control others, to satisfy their own self-worth. It is sick and narcissistic. Guys, this is the truth, man. I'm just dropping truth and facts. This is, a lot of it's my opinion, but it's, how can anyone be like, that's not true? They really do care about the climate. Okay, prove it. Show me. Show me the politicians that are going to stop taking private jets, start biking to work, AOC. Every member of Congress who supports the Green New Deal should own a freaking 10-speed bike. I want to see pictures of it. Post pictures of that on Instagram. Show me you live streaming so you can, look, guys, I'm a human. Look, I eat food. I drink water. Elizabeth Warren, Beto O'Rourke. Show me you taking a bike somewhere. Show us. Show us you take it seriously. If it's real, and if the world's ending in 10 years, show us your bike. Show us your fleet of bikes that you have, Leonardo DiCaprio and Alyssa Milano and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Show us you being fully green. Downsize from your compound. Call out your fellow leftists. Obama buying a big mansion in Martha's Vineyard. Call those people out. Do it publicly. If you can't do it publicly, that tells me you don't take climate change seriously. If the end is near, we're all dead in 10 years, You sure aren't acting like it. You're over here lecturing average people over here about why they're so wrong and so evil because the science is settled. It's funny how the science is settled when it comes to climate change, but not when it comes to gender, which is more provable than it is that man is causing climate change. Just saying. Hip Hop Thinker said, exactly, none of them are serious or they'd be dealing with China or India. No, China and India, they're never the problem. They're never the problem. They'll never talk about the biggest offenders, China and India. How come there's no video protests of people in India and China? We won't talk about it. And then people are using their iPhones to tweet about climate change. Look at me, I'm so progressive. Now I can feel better. Now my day is worth it because I'm showing I care. I'm going to make a sign out of cardboard and use spray paint, which isn't good for the environment. And I'm going to spray paint. You're a worse person than me because you don't agree with climate change. Again, people are fake, man. I'm sick of it. They're just fake. Don't you get tired of fake? A lot of people leave comments saying, Mike, you're so real. You're so authentic. I don't like to brag about it. It's just who I am. It's the way God made me. And it's so much easier to be your authentic self than it is to be somebody who's fake, holding up a false persona. It's just, it's too much work. I could probably make it further financially because it's lucrative right now to be fake. It is. It's the truth. Being fake is actually a lot more lucrative than being real and authentic. But it's too much work. I don't want to do that. I want to do what feels natural. It feels natural to be myself and just tell the truth. Tell it like it is. Tell it the way the average person sees it. Instead of trying to virtue signal. Look at me. I retweeted Greenpeace. We're going to go hang from a bridge and show the Democrats we're serious about climate change. What the fuck? That doesn't make any sense. Oops, I said the F-bomb, guys. Oh, snap. You guys know I don't really curse like that. But sometimes it just flows like that. And I'm sure I haven't seen a super chat come through in a while. Could be because I haven't earned it, but it could also be, which is probably more likely, YouTube demonetized this. Of course they did. I'm not surprised. Someone said, dude, cuss more. The reason why I don't, honestly, I don't cuss a whole lot. I do cuss. I do use profanity. I've had people say, your channel would be so much better. You could reach more people if you didn't use profanity. I'm like, I say shit like every fourth video. What? But the reason why I don't do it freely is because, for one, it's so easy to get my entire channel demonetized, which I don't want to do. But then also it alienates people, and whether that's right or wrong, whether they're being sensitive or not, it doesn't matter. I want them to hear what I have to say, and it's more important for them to hear the message than to hear me just say random cuss words. But there are people like Jericho Green who will just let loose. Karen Kennedy too. She'll say that stuff too. But for the most part, I'm just kind of middle of the road. Every once in a while, something slips, and then it just is what it is. I've definitely had people unsubscribe to me for saying the word shit like it's not in the dictionary. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Jericho is direct. Ella Michelle said, I don't watch Jericho Green. I mean, I get it. He's not everyone's cup of tea. I follow a broad spectrum of YouTubers. So there's Jericho Green, who cusses a lot. There's Patricia Dixon, who never cusses. And there's people in between that just say it every once in a while. Play a little boozy song. Bullshit. Ha, ha, ha. Ease up, man. Ladies on this channel and chat, respect goes a long way. Who are you talking about? I'm assuming you're talking about somebody in the chat. I have no idea. Oh, do we have a troll in the chat? Do we have a troll in the chat? If we do have a troll in the chat, what is their name and what are they saying? You know what's funny? The people who criticize me, so you guys know I have a sizable audience on Facebook as well. I've got about 30,000 followers there. But I almost never get trolls when I live stream. The reason why is because on Facebook, you have to have an actual profile. Most people on Facebook, it's their actual profile. So they have pictures of their kids, their house, whatever. Their livelihood, their life is on Facebook. So they're a lot more toned down when it comes to just being a contrarian, just trying to get a rise out of me. So it's a lot more tame over there. But here, where you can have an anonymous avatar, you can say whatever you want. You can be an actual troll. So that's kind of how that's what I noticed is on YouTube. That's where I'll get death threats. That's where I'll get the crazy people. But we know the truth. Most of them are pathetic in their parents' basement. They're just looking for validation. They just want to be loved. They're hurting inside. They haven't figured out how to love themselves. With that said, who is this troll? Show me. What's up, Chandler Trump? Chandler Trump is in the chat, guys. Hey, if you guys don't know about Chandler Trump, that is an intelligent kid. He's probably about, I don't know how old you are, Chandler. I'm assuming you're like 13, 14, 15. Anyway, he's a young, bright, intelligent, conservative. That is the future. People say I'm the future. That kid is the future. I've actually been featured on his channel. We did a little collaboration a few months back. Subscribe to Chandler Trump if you have not. And hey, Chandler, I hope you're going to be at YBLS next week. If you are, man, we'll link up. We'll definitely link up. He says, oh, I'm 15 now. 10 days ago, man. Happy belated birthday, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. You are smart. You're intelligent. And you're bright, man. You're the future. You're a free thinker. You think for yourself. You're not going to let the world impose its will on you. And that's just great, man. I love that. I love seeing people who don't let the world impose its will on them. So many people just accept what they're given instead of deciding what they want the world to look like through their own eyes. They just get handed goggles like, hey, you're black. Look around. Everything's racist. You're oppressed. You can't overcome it. That, you know, a lot of people just accept that. Whether you're black, woman, Hispanic, gay, doesn't matter. So many people just submit to the dogma. So props to you, man, for seeing through that. Imagine where I'd be now if I were at Chandler's age and I was thinking the way he does. I probably would be in office. Who knows? I probably would be the president. I'm not going to do it now. Some of you are like, run for office. But I'm like, if I run for office, I can't be this honest. And with our cancel culture, they'll probably dig up this live stream and be like, you said shit. Who knows? That's how it works, man. Them's the rules. I didn't make it up. We're kind of playing by their rules because they dominate culture and everything else. Who else we got in the chat, man? I'm going to wrap up soon. We're at 43 minutes. Is there anything that I'm leaving out? We covered the Ukrainian elephant in the room. We talked about Greta. We talked about climate change and how the left uses kids. So sick and evil and wrong. We talked about the fakeness, hypocrisy, the double standards, which there's an endless list of it. Doesn't matter what it is, man. Doesn't matter, man. Jeez. It's like the news cycle is like every day there's some new big story, but then there's another new fake news story at the end of the day. This is so fake, man. It's like you got Justin Fairfax, the second highest ranking official in the state of Virginia. 2 credible sex assault allegations against this man. He is suing CBS for interviewing those women, suing them, trying to shake down CBS for giving his 2 accusers a platform to tell their story because he hasn't been given a fair trial or whatever, due process. He's basically saying due process. This is defamation, this smearing, blah, blah, blah. Could you imagine Brett Kavanaugh doing that? No. Could you imagine Brett Kavanaugh, in the mind of the average person on the left, is a literal rapist? That's what I mean. Double standards, hypocrisy. They don't care. They took the Me Too movement and hijacked it. They hijacked it for their own agenda. It's so wrong because there are actual victims of sex assault out there. But now with the Me Too movement being used for political expedience, we don't know what to take seriously anymore. Because the left, these people are on the wrong side of history. They're evil. I just got to wrap up because I'm just going to get more mad about it. But I can call it out for days. You guys put a subject in there, put any subject, and I can tell you a double standard or hypocrisy within the last 5 months. Guaranteed. Whether you're talking climate change, talking sex assault, you're talking police brutality, talking hate crimes, talking racism. It's all been perpetuated, used for political expedience by the left, but they don't care to call it out on their side. They're projecting, accusing others of what they are 1000% guilty of. Doesn't matter what the topic is. I promoted Trump overseas for a Japanese live stream over the summer, by the way. Good for you. That's the other thing, man, too. When they talk about, let me see me gather my thoughts here. I kind of lost my train of thought. When they talk about America and they say, like, when has America been great for minorities? When has it been great for women? America's racist. This country's very founding is racist and xenophobic and all this other stuff. How come that message didn't reach the protesters in Hong Kong? Why? Are those people stupid? Why are they waving the American flag in Hong Kong? Why? Why are people from Guatemala and Honduras and El Salvador trying to come to a racist, xenophobic country with income inequality? Why are poor people coming towards income inequality? It doesn't make sense, does it? But yet that narrative gets shoved down our throats every day with little to no pushback, unchallenged, unchecked. They just continue spewing the same nonsense. How is it possible that America's not good for everybody? White, Black, Hispanic, Asian, Puerto Rican, it doesn't matter. This is the best global position any human being could be in. Period. Period. The United States of America, there is no better place on planet Earth to be in. If you go to another country and take a history class, I'm pretty sure they're going to say America's the freest country on earth. But if you come over here, Beto O'Rourke will lecture you about how America's so immoral and wrong and racist. America's bad for minorities. It's so terrible, except for Elizabeth Warren, who pretended to be Native American so she could advance her career. So wouldn't that mean that it's good to be a minority here because you have all these things in your favor? You can artificially make it just because your skin color. Like, hey, you were born brown, so you get money for being brown. You didn't have to earn it. I think that means what I said it means. This is the best damn place to be. Oh, wait, what? Pinfree said, I guarantee you I'm in a better country in what you are 100%. I don't know if you're responding to me or someone else from another country that says it's better. I don't know. White people are oppressed in this country. Not all white people. Not all white people are oppressed. I don't think oppression has a color. It doesn't. I would say people who speak the way that I do will naturally they'll try to oppress you, but I don't think of myself as oppressed, even though my message will get suppressed by YouTube's algorithms. I'm not going to claim victim status. I'm just going to work harder. So therefore, I'm not going to take the oppressed label, be like, oh, it's really hard out here for a conservative living in this liberal America. That's the same thing as a black person saying, man, it's hard out here in white America. Like they've never seen a poor white person. You mean to tell me a poor white person with type 2 diabetes who's homeless on heroin has white privilege? Explain that to me. Explain to me how a homeless diabetic white person on heroin has white privilege over me, a homeowner, making more money than I've ever made. Explain to me how they have white privilege. And please leave the false narrative of police brutality out of it. And see, this is the biggest thing. They love excuses. The left loves excuses for failure. In this life, you are granted free will by our Creator, God. You can make good choices or bad choices. Your life is determined based on the decisions you make. Those decisions are yours to make and yours alone. Of course, there are circumstances outside of your control, like if you get a disease, but that is life. That's the way it is. It doesn't matter if you are a cheetah, a parrot, a skunk, a chipmunk, a snail, or a human being. All of those animals I just named, some are going to die, some are going to get run over by cars, some are going to find enough food, some will die, some will live for their full life expectancy. That's just nature. Not all apple trees produce the same amount of apples. That's just the way it is. That's the same with human beings. We're all unique. We all have our own talents, strengths, weaknesses. There's going to be different outcomes. I'm comfortable knowing that. I'm comfortable knowing that I have God-given talents and abilities, and God is guiding my destiny. But I also play a hand in it by the decisions I make. I understand. I'm not going to be 6'5". I'm not going to be dunking basketballs like LeBron James. I'm not going to be rapping like T.I. I'm going to do what I was here to do. And I'm fine with that. I'm not going to live as long as some people. I'm going to live longer than other people. That's just the way it is. I'm comfortable with it. You know who's not uncomfortable? You know who's not comfortable with it? People on the left who are like, there are poor people out there. There are homeless people. That's wrong. Capitalism's punishing homeless people. That guy's rich because that guy's poor. They have this false belief in their head. A belief is just a thought that you keep thinking. That's why we got to break this matrix. They have this false belief that inequality is because of inequity. Like those things are correlated. It's not true. You cannot legislate equal outcomes in society. You just can't. There's never going to be equal outcome. But because they want to feel good, they have these feel good beliefs about a utopia that could exist if we just elect Bernie Sanders and we have Medicare for all. That's all it takes. We just need the right people to dictate decisions for the rest of us, and the world will be better. Medicare for all means health care for none. That's just the way it goes, man. Some people are homeless because they made bad decisions. They're on drugs. They might be schizophrenic. Those people need help, but they don't need the house that I worked my ass off for just because they exist. But that's the whole ideology of the left is because I'm born, because I'm a human, because I'm on planet Earth, healthcare is my right. Housing is my right. Food is my right. I'm like, says who? Who granted you those rights? According to who? That's what most people don't challenge. When they say healthcare is a human right, I'm like, according to who? I disagree. Because Elizabeth Warren says healthcare is a human right, a basic human right. What does that mean? What is a basic human right? You're telling me there's a tier of human rights? So you got basic human rights, you got intermediate human rights, and you got high level human rights. See, the thing is with these utopian politicians is when they espouse this stuff, when they give you they lay out their utopian plan, here's how we're going to reach egalitarianism. When they say that, they've already envisioned how they see themselves in that scenario. You don't think Bernie has already played it out in his mind if he got his way where he would be? Bernie would be sitting on a throne as a king, being hoisted up, crowd surfing, people being hoisting him up. Bernie saved humanity. That's what Bernie thinks. You think Bernie's going to be on the same healthcare plan as me? You think Bernie's going to not live in a mansion? Is Bernie going to pay taxes? No. They've already seen themselves in the future of what they want. And of course, they're going to put themselves in the most favorable position. And Bernie wants to be known as the smartest person in the world. Bernie figured out a way for everyone to have oceanfront property and without working for it. That's what I mean. So every single time a politician talks about we're going to have healthcare as a human right, everyone should get this and that, and we're going to tax the top 1% and all these immoral billionaires, they're not going to exist. We're going to throw people in jail who don't do what we tell them to do. They're just saying, I don't like that those people are in the position. I need to be in the position. And oh, by the way, I want to get credit for it. I want to be known as the best person to ever live who figured out equality for all, equality of outcome, not equality of opportunity, equality of outcome. That's what it's all about. That's what socialism is all about, equality of outcome. But it's also about greed and corruption, and people who push that are the ones who see themselves at the top of that pyramid. You can't convince me otherwise. It's not even possible. Bernie is a communist. Bernie is absolutely communist. I don't even know why I call him a socialist. I call him Bolshevik Bernie for short. Liz thinks because she was born in Oklahoma, she's Indian. With her cookbook. What was that cookbook? Pow Wow Chow. One of the recipes in that Pow Wow Chow cookbook had like seafood in it. I'm like, no, not in Oklahoma. Sorry. Bernie has never turned down 1 red cent from the wealthy. Right. That's what I'm saying, man. People who want to be career politicians like Bernie are corrupt to the core. But, you know, the average Bernie supporter, going back to what I said about people who are not super smart, but they're very well educated, the average Bernie supporter probably has a master's degree. How can you believe in your mind if we just elect the right socialists, we can remake America and there will never be a homeless person again? If that is true, that socialism is the way to go, and all we got to do is get Trump and all the GOP out of office, and we got to get all the Democrats in. We need a supermajority of progressives in office. If that's true, why is there even 1 homeless person in California instead of an explosion of homelessness in LA and San Francisco? I know you guys have seen those videos. They got homeless encampments. They got freaking diseases from the mid-ages coming back. Drug use through the roof, highest property taxes, highest gas taxes, highest income taxes, highest sales taxes. They got all the tax money they could ask for. They would tax oxygen if they could. So if there's no Republicans to blame in California, you got all the right people in office, but you got more homelessness than anywhere else. You're subsidizing this homelessness. Right? You're collecting tax dollars because you care about the middle class. How come the middle class is getting out and there's only super, super rich Hollywood scum, tech giant employees, and politicians? Those are the rich people in California. That's it. Everyone else is struggling to get by, shutting down their business. You got zombie hordes of homeless people, drugged out, biting people. How is that possible? California should be the shining example of what the rest of the country should be if socialism is the way to go. The truth is stranger than fiction, guys. Tell you what, I should probably wrap up because we are right at about an hour, and I typically don't go long live stream this long, but I had to just kind of dump all that out. So I think I covered everything. Sorry I didn't really read the chats the way that I normally do, or the way I should. Bad CP said, dude, don't go. I have to. But here's the thing. And I'm going to make an announcement really soon here. That's going to be another live stream. You guys are going to get a lot more of this. Just be on the lookout. There's some great things coming starting next week. I'm going to be in DC. We've got the Black Leadership Summit. I'm pretty sure every Black conservative that I know that I've talked to directly is going to be there. If it's anything like last year, all of them will be there. That's going to be amazing. So you guys are going to get a lot of content from me next week. There's also this thing I'm working on with American Joe and Lions Republic and Douglas Ducote. There's a whole bunch of YouTubers. Anthony Brian Logan, Brandon Tatum. There's just a plethora of YouTubers planning a live stream next week. Just be on the lookout, man. There's great stuff coming. Because here's the thing. 2020 is 1 year away. A year and a month. So all hands on deck. We need as much momentum as possible. We can't get complacent. We can't be like, oh, Trump's going to win by a landslide. No. They're going to cheat. They're going to do everything they can. Google has already said Google wants to flip the election. So we can't just sit there and be like, I'm just going to kick back, let the left be insane, and vote Trump 2020. No. You need to be supporting InfoWars. You need to be supporting alternative media. Even if you don't love Alex Jones, who cares? His voice is more important right now than ever before. And other people that I can't name, just other random people that have conservative voices, people, alternative media, you need to be promoting them, sharing their content, sharing my content. We can't let up. We have the momentum politically. We're obviously winning culturally, even though it doesn't feel like it, doesn't seem like it sometimes. We can't just think Trump's going to win in a landslide. Yes, he should. He probably will, but we shouldn't act like it. That's all I got to say. So I'm signing off, guys. God bless you. Again, one more time, magastarbrand.com. Let me hold up the other one. magastarbrand.com, promo code MAGA2020. You get 10% off. Go there, get this hat. I will get credit for it. Get one of those two hats and post a picture of it anywhere. Facebook, Twitter, doesn't matter. And hashtag MAGAStarBrand. So we know, so we can track it, you know. That's my little partnership there. So if you support me, you can do that. Or you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. And stay tuned, guys. There's going to be more to come. Get dehydrated. So I'm going to drink some more water. I'm shutting it down. God bless you guys. I'll catch you in the next stream.